Welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast with your hosts, Kathy Gruver and Terrie Huberman.
Well, hello there and welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast. I'm Terrie Huberman.
And I am your co-host, Kathy Gruver, and we're going to start this episode as we do every episode with an angel card. Huh. I would like to describe the picture first.
Yes, please.
And then you tell me what you think it is.
Holy mama. All right, let's do this.
There's an angel back to the camera, buck naked, clothes in a pile, standing in front of the ocean with the sun in the sky.
Shame. I don't know.
Freedom.
Wait, that's freedom.
I guess.
Oh, thank you.
Naked angel heading into skinny dip. I guess that's freedom.
Wow.
Who knew all those songs? That's what that was about. Freedom. You are free to change your experience by changing the criteria upon which you base your decisions. Let go of old trappings and express your uniqueness.
Oh my gosh. Naked angels.
So we're going to talk about nudity today. No,
yeah, we are
going to talk about nudity today.
This is a rated
kind of
episode. Well, yeah, you're right. Kind of.
Yeah. So we are in a way talking about freedom. Freedom from this crazy meat suit, with or without clothes. We thought today we would talk about a very lighthearted, easy to talk about, completely known subject called "What Happens After We Die."
Dun, da, 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 da.
We have the inside scoop. We've talked to God, and they have explained to us what exactly happens, and we're going to share it with you.
Yeah, actually, let's just play Defending Your Life, that movie.
I love that movie.
That's like the best, I think, one of the best representations, just based on like the educate. I've never had an NDE, so I can't tell you, what exactly happens, but that from what I hear, that Defending Your Life is a really great movie that depicts what happens when you leave your Earth suit.
Yep. So for those of you that, first of all, an NDE is a near-death experience.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. I figure most people who are watching this probably know that, but
right.
Defending Your Life. So this was a movie from 1991. It is Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep, so very young Meryl Streep. And yes, she is I do look like Meryl Streep. I get this all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe with not the cap, but it is basically both of these people die and they go to this office of review, basically, where they sit down in a screening room and they watch videos of their lives. And Meryl Streep has had like these freaking amazing lifetimes where she's like rescuing children from, and Albert Brooks is this big coward and it's like him running from bears and, it's hilarious. If you've not seen it, I actually made my husband, not made, but I made my husband watch it. And it was so slow because I'm so used to like movies now what are so go. This movie was so slow, like it was painfully slow. And I was like, wow, we used to think these were normal movies. Okay. But the content of it, and I 100% agree with you, Terrie. I'm so glad you brought that up. I think that's exactly what happens. I think we review our lifetimes. We review that life. We set what we're going to do next time. We decide whether we're coming back, when, how, what body, what country, the contract, the contract, we sign it and we back into this meat suit again.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. Episode over. That's what happens.
That was a very short one. Well,
no. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just say, I was raised Catholic, right? Mm-hmm. And it was, you're born, you sin a lot, you go to confession, you ask for forgiveness. And when you die, you get last rites and you go to heaven. And that never made sense to me. Where is this heaven? What about people who died before Christianity was where'd those people go? And then I heard about other religions like Mormonism, or is it Mormonism where you can like retroactively pray for someone and get them in heaven? Like if your grandparents died and they weren't believers, you could make them go to heaven. And it's like, that seems against any sort of free will.
Wow.
I think it's Mormonism. I have clients who are Mormon. I'll ask them.
Yeah.
So I know you were born, you're a Jewish woman.
Yeah. Mhm.
What is the take on that from the Jewish perspective?
Jews do believe in reincarnation. It's part of the Kabbalah. So they'll call in Hebrew, it's called a Gil.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's interesting because I remember when I was in Israel, I've been to Israel twice, and I was told, which I just don't know enough about like going from like an animal to a human. I believe in Hinduism, they do believe that you can evolve from an animal. But I just remember walking around in Jerusalem and there would be stray cats and people would say, "Oh yeah, look, there's a Gilgul as somebody." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Look, I'm a medium, so I talk to dead people. So that's fine. Like I know that there's a consciousness, a residual consciousness from the human. So it's not like, but I couldn't quite, and I still don't know. I'll be honest. I just don't know if if an animal can evolve into a human. I just kind of felt like, okay, animal kingdom stays animal kingdom, but then how does evolution happen? So that probably doesn't make sense.
Right.
But I studied or learned or even had intuitive insights, so I don't know.
That's
You know,
Yeah,
but
that's an interesting concept. So I just really quick asked the computer
yeah,
because why not? Because I know there's some traditions that believe we
yeah.
can get, and they're like, I hope in your next life you're a dung beetle. I mean, that was like the classic,
God, a
the
bug.
classic reincarnation line. You know, um, Beliefs that support animal reincarnation: Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism.
Oh,
Dharmic traditions that hold soul cycles, including humans, animals, insects. Rebirth into a specific form is dictated by the karma. While human birth is generally considered the highest opportunity, some schools teach a person overly attached to base instincts could be reborn as an animal.
okay.
So I have done so many past life regressions on people. I started playing, I'm going to say playing with that because I was playing with it at that point in high
Yeah,
school. And Friday nights in my dorm, while everybody else was off partying, I would be hypnotizing people for reincarnation
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I was that person, so I had tons of friends.
Nothing. I mean, look, that you and I would have been besties.
Oh my God,
So
absolutely. And one time did I have somebody say, I was a kitten that was wrapped in a bag with my brothers and sisters and thrown into a creek.
wow, and that's so detailed.
Yeah, but we were theater majors. And
Oh,
so, I mean,
there's always that
and
possibility.
I remember as he's saying this to me, I'm like, I don't know if that's possible. And so, like, literally in the hundreds of all the reading I've done, and I've not run into animal stuff, but
Right.
also is that one that you would remember, recall, and want to share?
I mean, I see, like I said, the more I study and learn, the less I actually know. So I'm definitely at the point when it comes to all this esoteric metaphysical stuff that I know nothing, that
Mm.
I literally know nothing. Um, one of my best friends last night, he's got a fish tank and one of his fish completely disappeared for like 2 weeks. And he was pissed because this particular fish what cost thousands of dollars. So like he's got to solve, I mean, he's like well known in the fish world. So one day the fish, I know, right? The fish comes back. All of a sudden he finds the fish. The fish looks completely distorted. It's fat. And he's like, can a spirit take a fish? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe your fish timeline jumped into some weird dimension and then came back.
How can
You
you
know,
not find a fish in a fish tank?
well, his fish tank
No.
it's like the sea and it's got he also does coral. So there's coral. So
Oh, places it could have hidden, and
yeah, in my head, what I think happened or like what I sense is that it got stuck, was still able to eat.
yeah.
And then because it was there for 2 weeks and it grew into this position it was in, then But, he's like, can that happen? And I'm like, I don't know, because like this energy stuff gets weird because you can dimension hop, which is actually what kind of happens when we leave the Earth suit. It's like we leave the third dimension,
Uh,
right? So we're leaving the physical world of reality, which is the third dimension of reality, and then we're in another dimension. So like I said, the more I learn and know or study, the less I actually know. But the people who have near-death experiences go through this life review.
yeah.
And then they come across someone, usually an ancestor, that says, it ain't your time yet. You still got work to do. And then, they're sent back.
Yeah.
So when you leave your Earth suit, I really do, because I feel like even in dreams, I'm doing life reviews
Yeah.
sometimes. That's the astral world, right?
100%.
So, and when I talk to people's loved ones, I mean, they're giving information, they have the memories, and then they're also giving the information of what they've learned by leaving their Earth suit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
So,
interesting. I have two things I wanted to throw into this as you're talking. It's triggering stuff for me. So I have had clients who are passing, they're crossing over.
sure.
And either I'm in the room with them in the hospital room, in the care facility room. The room is filled with spirits.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
room is filled with
Yeah,
ancestors, friends, parents, waiting to, they're just kind of standing around waiting for that person to go so they can assist them over.
right.
And I had a girlfriend who's so horrible. Her husband was dying. He had cancer. They had found each other after years of being apart. They got back together, they got married, and he freaking died after like 3 years.
Ugh,
Ugh.
sad.
So he was dying at home. He didn't want to, so she
Mhm.
set up part of the house and he had his own room. And she said, Kathy, I know you've talked about having a room full of people and you can sometimes tell how close it is. Can you help me? And
Yeah.
she didn't want anybody there because he was just so frail. And I
Sure.
said, stand in the doorway and take a picture of the room with as much space as you can. And she sent me the photo and I looked at it and it was filled with spirits.
Bill. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I texted her back and I'm like, dude, man, I think he's getting pretty close. The room is full and he is so loved and so protected to get ready to do this. And sure enough, within a day or two, he was
Yeah.
gone. The other thing I was going to say was when I explain reincarnation to people, I tend to liken it to like community theater, right?
Mm.
And trailing with people we know. So,
Hmm.
you're in this play, this Earth lifetime right now, and you know all these people. Like you and I have
Yeah.
been together before, and
Yeah.
me and Eric have been together before, and it's like community theater. You get together every summer and you do this play. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're the leading lady and I'm the enemy, and there's no role for me. So I'm going to direct this time, or maybe I'll be the stagehand, or I'll be just the sort of little extra character, or maybe I'm the lead, or maybe I'm the hero, or we keep switching these roles. But
Yeah.
it's the same basic cast over and over again because we work so well together. And then
Yeah.
summer ends, we go about our things, we go do our lifetime, we review what we're going to do, we pick a new play, and then the next summer we get back together again.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of like to think about it.
Well,
Um,
I like that metaphor. I really do like that metaphor. Now, I've had, I think it was about six, it was either five or six regressions,
mhm.
lifetime regressions done to me.
Yep.
And they're like, when you're in this play, I mean, these characters are very familiar. Like you can place them in your current
Oh,
lifetime play.
yeah.
It's really fascinating. I mean, it's really, really fascinating. So, like I said, it's like I have no idea, which is also kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done so many past life regressions for other people as a hypnotherapist, and I've also had so many done for myself. I used to have an audio tape. That's how
Mm,
far back this goes. And I would listen to it and it would take you through lifetimes. The
yeah.
downside of that is it can't be customized. So, like, if I wanted to go deeper on something, I'm still listening to this tape and I
Sure.
had to kind of follow it along. But it was so interesting. My dream lifetime, like, if you said pick one place that you would want to be or like go to do, it was Avalon for me from
Oh,
like
so
Myths of Avalon. And I'm like, oh my God, how ideal. Like, I get to do magic. I get to play with animals and herbs. I get to
Yeah.
be around all these incredibly powerful women. Men show up once a month. They bang you. Maybe you have a baby, maybe not. They go away. I mean, like, this sounds ideal, right? This sounds perfect.
Baby
And,
banging.
and so I'm doing a past life regression, and I end up in what was very similar to Avalon. And I was like, oh, there was like a part of my consciousness of doing this regression. I'm like, oh my God, this is my dream lifetime. I'm so excited. This is so great. Oh my God, it happened. Terrie, it was a shit lifetime. Nobody liked me. I was
Oh,
shunned from the community because everyone was like, oh, you're so good at this. It was like being back in high school in this lifetime. I ended up dying
oh
because
my God.
I left the women's group and I went to a local town where I helped them with a plague that was coming through. And yes, I saved a bunch of lives, but I got sick and died, and it was horrible. And my husband left, and no, it was awful. It was the crappiest lifetime. And
Oh,
that is one of the reasons that I know and I believe so strongly that this is real.
yeah.
Because if I was going to make up shit, that
Yeah.
is not what I would have made up. I would
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
made this ideal, I love this lifetime. And that's not what it was.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things where I'm like, oh, this has to be real because that is not what I would have made up.
And it's funny because I remember when I was studying hypnotherapy and we were learning all about regressions and stuff, so many people make the assumption that they were royalty of some sort. They were a prince or whatever. And it's
I'm
like,
Cleopatra. No, not everybody's Cleopatra. Come on.
not much. Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, the only way we're going to know is when it happens. But my understanding is that it's super quick. Like the actual transition, like when you're human, it can take a while for the power source to detach, right? That's
Mm,
how I see it. It's a power
mhm.
source. And so it detaches. But in that moment of actual detachment, it's super quick. And life review is actually quick. Like in that movie, it was forever.
Mhm.
Really quick process, and then you start having conversations with God, and you start making your contracts and all that stuff. And what it seems like is that being a human is the e-ticket ride. For those of you who don't know, that was like the best ride at Disneyland. They used to have like tickets, not just
Mhm.
like an entrance fee. And it was the best rides would be an e-ticket. Like to be a human is like the best thing ever. I think that's probably where, because of the soul growth opportunities, even though
Mhm.
humans were like, this sucks at times, right? But we always learn from it, usually, if
Hopefully.
we have awareness and consciousness, we do. And that the whole process to the soul is very fast. Like
Mhm.
it could be hundreds of human years before the reincarnation happens, before it takes on another, Earth suit and all the contracts are made and all that. It's like a blink of an eye for the soul because there's no time,
Yeah.
once you get past the third dimension, fourth dimension is about time. And
Mhm.
then bam, it's all gone. So it's like a blink of an eye, and there are tons of souls waiting there eagerly going, I want to be human. I want to be human. I'm like,
I'm picturing one of the deli things where the like, number 37 and you're standing there like I've got 152.
"Ah,
Man,
yeah,
the other thing I was going to say is going back to the animal thing, and then we're probably out of time. Um,
yeah,
I have had the same cat multiple times.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Alistair, who disappeared, is Uther. It's the same damn cat. It's the same cat.
Yeah.
Jasper, who my ex-husband still is in care of, was also Uther. And what
Wow.
was so fascinating is I had two black cats, Uther and Pellinor. When they passed away, I got two new cats, Toby and Jasper, same cats.
Mm.
When my ex and I split, he kept the cats. And when I moved into this new place, a cat from the neighborhood claimed me, who is now Alistair. And it was like a soul jumping thing. It was so creepy. Once I realized that Alistair was mine and it was Uther, Toby and Jasper started hating each other at my ex's house. They were fighting. They couldn't be in the same room. And I think what happened is the soul of Uther, who was in Jasper, was like, oh, I've got a new cat I got to go be in, and left. which left Toby and Jasper not knowing who they were. And they just went at each other. And I finally, when my ex was out of town, I went over with a Reiki practitioner friend of mine, and we talked to the cats and we reintroduced them, and we did this whole like ceremony to reintroduce these cats. The woo meter just went off the charts. And they started getting along again. So I think the soul left Jasper, went into my new cat, and they were both so confused. They looked at each other like they were enemies. It was so fascinating. And that is the only thing I could think that happened.
Yeah. I mean, like in Judaism, when the soul leaves the body, it gets confused. That's why in Judaism, we bury the body so quickly so that the soul is not like confused, like I'm here. So once the body that's why it's like within 3 days. I think in the Muslim world, it's similar because, Jews and Muslims are cousins. Yeah. So it's like, I think what happens is that that's why you're supposed to bury the body right away to not confuse the soul.
Wow, so fascinating. And all these traditions, we could talk forever about traditions and religious traditions and things like that, but we will not. All right. I am Kathy Gruver. I can be reached at kathygruver.coach.
And you can find me at terriehuberman.com. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Intentional Awakening podcast. We'll see you soon.
See ya.